Hey guys, Matthew, and welcome to episode number 8 of the 1%ers of Rare Class series. Today, unlike most other episodes where we spoke about methods that were very good to make currency at the start of a league, today we're actually looking at a method that is the opposite. As the league progresses, this method of making currency is better and better and better. Of course, I'm talking about challenges and selling actual challenge completion. Now, you can't actually sell every single one of these challenge completions. Some of them people are going to have to get on their own, but most of the easy ones people are going to be able to do that themselves. Today, I'm basically going to be showing you guys which challenges or kind of which type of challenges you can actually sell to other players. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few different resources or places that you can go ahead and try to sell those challenges. Because of course, to sell challenges, you need buyers for challenges. But that basically is anything else in the game. You also need someone to buy your items to make currency, so it's not like there's anything different there. The only difference here is that you can't sell it on the official trade site. You actually have to go to like communities, if you will, Discord communities or like Trade 820, stuff like that. Anyways, like I said, I'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the video. So first off, what I want to talk about is why people pay so much for challenges. Obviously, that's a pretty obvious answer, right? People want MTX. You get free MTX, and a lot of it looks pretty cool, but the biggest reason is obviously for the bragging rights, right? Especially those totem poles that people get for large amounts of challenges. A lot of the time you get wings. This league we're getting, for the first time ever, I believe, we're getting a hideout, which is absolutely awesome. You get some cool stuff, but you also get the bragging rights that whenever people come to your hideout and they see that you have the 36 challenge hideout from 7 leagues ago, you're the real deal. So there's definitely some bragging rights about those, but it's not just that, it's also free MTX. So let's talk about what kind of challenge you can sell, because there's obviously some kinds that are sellable, some challenge completion selling, anyways, that's doable, and there's some challenges where you really can't be selling completion for those. So for example, if we take complete ritual encounter, right? Well, you can't really sell something like this, right? This is something that you would get through playing the game. You would complete a ritual, you would spend some tribute, blah, 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 right? You would not either complete, for example, something like completing the act bosses. You can't really sell that completion unless the buyer has literally not played the league whatsoever. And if they're at that point, well, chances are they probably can't afford buying challenges anyways, right? So the ones that you are going to be able to sell, basically there's going to be like 2 or 3 different categories. The first category is going to be things that take a lot of time. There are a lot of players who have currency, but who don't necessarily want to take the time to do a lot of the stuff themselves, right? So that's going to be the first thing that you can sell. For example, level 100. Now, you can't just sell XP to somebody, but what you can sell is a service in order to get them XP to get to level 100 as quick as possible. For example, hosting Pure Shield Breachstone rotations, or even hosting 5-way emblems, right? Stuff like that will get people the best XP in the game with the least amount of effort anyways, and no real danger, and they can pay their way to level 100 with currency. And that is something you can sell. Now, I don't know if the Harvest the Heart of the Grove requires you to actually go out in your own map and click the Harvest of the Grove, or it just requires to kill Oshabi. But if it does just require you to kill Oshabi, technically, anytime that you get a Harvest of the Grove in your map, you should get her within call range, which is about 10% HP, and then try to get as many people to come into your map as possible and charge them upwards of 1, 2, even sometimes 3 Exalt per head for the kill. And you don't have to worry about her being harder to kill because she's in call range. You just get within range, you hit her once and she's dead. And if you're charging 2, 3 Exalt per head and you have 5 other people in your party, that is 10 to 15 Exalt that you're going to make off of finding Oshabi. Now, this is obviously just an arbitrary example. I'm not saying that you can actually charge some of these ridiculous amounts for that specific challenges. That specific challenge. All I'm saying is there are some challenges in the game that people are going to be willing to pay a lot for. And one of those type of challenges is going to be things that require a lot of time. Finding 15 Oshabis is a lot of work. I believe the chance to spawn Oshabi is probably less than 10%, and the chance of getting Harvest is like 10%. So we're talking about a lot of maps to farm 15 Oshabis. If you are speedrunning Harvest maps, every time you get an Oshabi, it's a good way to make some currency. Again, though, I don't know if this specific challenge this time around requires you to click the Heart of the Grove or just to kill her. If it's just to kill her, though, it's a sellable challenge. So that's the first thing that you're going to be able to sell, is the challenges that require a lot of time. The second category of challenge that you can sell are the ones that require you to kill hard content and clear hard content. There's a lot of people who play this game fairly casually, who have a few exalts, right? Or who are willing to spend a few exalts for free MTX, but who are not capable of doing some of the hardest content in the game. For example, a lot of people will never get to kill Awakener Cyrus level 8. A lot of people will never get to kill Uber Elder, right? A lot of people will never kill Chayula. So some of these challenges are also very, very sellable, because again, it doesn't make it any harder for you because you get the boss within call range, which means technically it's just a regular boss fight. Then you leave the map or whatever, or if you're super tanky, or you can just run away, you do that, invite as many people through selling the portals, and then go ahead and just call the boss. You get some money, everybody's happy. Right? So for example, if we look at this list, Abixoth would not be a really good example because Abixoth is pretty hard to find, right? But what's cool about this is that these challenges typically have multiple extra options so that you can choose which ones you actually end up doing. So for example, I've done Cyrus and Abixoth, but I haven't done any boss killing, so I haven't killed Chayula or Shaper, right? Fine, that's not the end of the world. I could go ahead and do those, but I could also just buy it from somebody else if I was not capable of doing it. Maybe the opposite of true. Maybe you're playing a boss killer and you're able to do all of those, and maybe the buyer is not able to do any of those because he's playing a pure mapping character, like I did this league, right? I've only played characters that were good at mapping. None of them were good at bossing. So these are the kind of challenges that you can sell, because again, if it requires the person to actually kill it, then you just get it within call range and you can sell it to one person. If it requires the boss to just die while you're in the instance, then you can actually sell multiple portals. That is obviously something that you need to pay attention to. So that is the second category of challenges that you're actually able to sell. It's going to be challenges for endgame content. And the last I guess category of challenges that I think are sellable are the ones that are basically harder based on mechanics of certain fights, or for example, I guess there's going to be another category, but this one would be the harder challenges based on, for example, certain mechanics, like I said. So for example here, defeat the Maven without allowing more than 16 volatile orbs to be active at once. If you're somebody who has done Maven plenty of times, you're very accustomed to the fight, and your character is capable of killing Maven very quickly, then you can easily get a few people in your party, right, and sell this challenge to multiple people at once if you're capable of, you know, doing them. Of course, this is going to be based on your character, your kill speed, and all that, but some people can literally do these challenges while they have a full party just sitting there ready to throw exalts at them. So this is going to be the third category of things that are sellable in terms of challenges, and that is the ones that are very mechanic heavy. A lot of the time people are, you know, more casual, or they have builds that can't necessarily do this, lack of damage, or just lack of skill, really. For some of these challenges require you not to get hit in certain leagues, for example. So it's very important to, if you're somebody who's capable of doing it, why not take advantage of this? Okay, and there's basically one more, in my opinion, kind of challenge that is sellable, and that is going to be things that are pretty sellable in terms of trading. So for example, this right here, right? Things that you can technically trade to other players, which means you can just buy those. So for example, one of them that's very common every league is completing 8 mod maps. So what you can do is just val a bunch of map until you get an 8 mod map, get a bunch of people in your party. Even if it's like a T8 map, sometimes you can charge 1 exalt per person, and the reality is just that people are willing to pay that much just because they're lazy and they don't want to do it themselves. So they will pay you something as ridiculous as 1 exalt per person in an 8 mod map. Or if you were to get all of these Guardian, for example, So the way that you would do this is you would do a ritual vessel in a Garden of the Phoenix, a summit map, a lava lake, and a caldera, and then you would put all 4 of them with another map, and then you would do that ritual with all 4 of them with those people in your party, and they would get the completion. That would be the last thing that you can actually sell, in my opinion, and that is basically challenges that are based on things that are tradable to some extent, like the vessels, right? It's not just kill a monster. The vessels can be traded between other players, or like the 8 mod maps. Okay, so now I want to talk about real quickly how you can go about selling these challenges, because you need buyers to make currency. There's 2 different places that I would recommend selling them. The first one is going to be the Forbidden Trove, which is TFT. All of the links for everything that I mentioned, like these Discord communities, are going to be in the description of the video. But for example, you could join this server here called the TFT, and you could just go under services. So you would head over here and you would go under services, want to sell RSC. So RSC is ritual softcore. Of course, if you're selling things in hardcore or whatever, you would go to the right place. But you could go here and you'll see that people are selling different services. So for example, this guy is selling Oshabi, Heart of the Grove. Remember what I said earlier? It's something that people are willing to pay for. People are selling these different services, and whenever you get one of those ready to go, you can just post in here and sell it. Now, if you don't like TFT, or if you want to have another option to try to really maximize how many places you can post at once to try to get as many clients, if you want to call them that, as possible, you can also head over to the Path of Exile trading Discord. That's another Discord that's basically the same thing. You would head over to someplace, yeah, there you go, challenge completion, LSC. So I'm not sure what LSC is, but I guess League Softcore would make sense. And see, people are again selling these different encounters for different prices. You can base your prices off of the price of other people, but you can see some of these are literally like 50C a pop, 2x a pop, 1x a pop. People are paying for Heart of the Grove, right? If you have 5 people in your map paying 1x each for the Heart of the Grove, that is 5 exalt extra that you're making on your map because you found Oshabi, right? So there's a lot of money to be made, and it's just really good way to make currency if you're somebody who is more advanced, especially mechanically. You have a good character who's capable of doing these, and therefore you can carry a lot of people at once, because that's when you're going to start to make the big bucks, is if you can carry multiple heads at once for every single time. So that's pretty much going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Before I go, as always, want to say a huge thank you to my supporters. So Jordan, Lost with the Map, Kremis, So Nice, Flame Scorpion, Nathaniel, Richard, JW Player, Scott, Young B, Tuck Tuck, Michael, Ashley, Pablums, Cool, Keebs, Marcus, Justin, Matt, Kevin, Powell, Mercury, Ethan, Citri, Jared, Axel, Acid, and a special thank you to Phenom and Trevor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.